afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tell me some good news. Anyone's birthday today? She's like, I'm 18. Right, good. Anyone else? No? It's great weather. I think it's really wonderful. So far, I've had a good day today. I hope you have too. We have a lot to do today. Look at the handout really quick. What's going on? What's going on? We have 6 things going on. Number 1, Louder Rat Rotten Hut. Do you know what that is? Look closely. I'm going to say some words. Look closely at number 1. Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, do you see that? Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the interaction between word knowledge and reading and vocabulary. I love vocabulary, don't you? Yeah. Then I'll talk about breadth and depth of lexical items. So how many words should we know? How many words should we teach, and how do we teach them? And I have some strategies for teaching. These strategies might be different from what you're used to. Okay? I'm providing a lot of information, a lot of detailed information. So you can go home on your own, go on the computer, and play around and check it out. Okay? 3, strategy number 1, address the learning burden. You will find that there are so many words to learn. Does anyone have any idea how many words there are in English? 2,000? That's it? 2,000? Darn, that was very hard. 50,000? You think so? Maybe. He's like, I know. I know there are 50,000. You're close. There might be a little bit more. There might be a little bit more. 65,000. It's like a gamble. 65, 70,000. Right? 200,000. There might be more. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Then I'm going to talk about strategy number 2, utilizing word lists and corpus. So how we can actually use online data to determine what words we can teach our students. Right? Then explicit vocabulary instruction followed by my number 1 advice, which I'll tell you at the end. Any questions, comments, or concerns? No. You ready? Let's do this. So you're Mongolian. Do you know this story? Yes. Tell me about it. She's like, yes I do. Tell me. What is it? What is it? She's like, oh, don't talk to me now, babe, don't. So what happens? There's a girl in a little red hood. What does she do?
Her grandma saw her, and one day she wanted to visit her grandma's parents because she was ill, and mother, obeyed her to just follow the path and don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers, just follow the path. And then?
When she just went into the forest, she found a wolf, and he looked very nice and polite.
He looked very nice? What do you mean, like sexy nice?
He seemed polite. And
And so what did he do?
He advised to go using the shortcut to reach the place, and advised her to pick up some flowers that would be nice for the grandma.
And did she pick and what happened next?
And then she found her granny's house.
And then the wolf did what? He ate her. Good job. Thank you very much for that story. Good job. But now, can you actually read the story? So I have a story here for you. It's called Louder Rat Rotten Hut. You know the story. You have the background knowledge. So if you look closely, once upon term, the worst the louder dull whole lift where. If you read it really closely, you could say something like, once upon a time, there was a little girl who. Oh, how do you know that? So right now, with your group members, try really quick to read it. Read the story as much as you can. You have 7 minutes, timer, 7 minutes, go. How was it? Challenging. Why is it challenging? Terrible. Terrible. challenging, then why is it terrible? Challenging for you. What do you think?
There are some words that I can see, but you know, the like word quality seems like not.
It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense when I just read the words.
Okay.
But it's written.
Okay.
Old English.
Old English? Kind of. Perhaps, maybe no. Terrible what? Just because it's terrible. But you know what?
Each word.
I need what this shows. This is kind of like a psychology test, almost like a test. It's testing your brain. What is your brain trying to do? It's trying to find out the words, right? And how does your brain do that? It goes from two different directions at the same time. So there's a thing called bottom-up processing, where you look at the words on the page, the words and the phonemes, the sounds, right? At the same time, it has this background knowledge coming together from above, called top-down processing. So bottom-up processing, top-down come together to form the word. That's how we read. So your brain is literally trying to find the words at bottom in the context. So if I read it to you, you can follow with me, I bet. Right? Let's try. So once upon a time. You want to read it? Go ahead. She's like, there was. Go ahead, read it. Stand up. Listen to her beautiful voice. Face everyone. Teacher voice. Okay, go.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with mother.
With her mother. With her mother. In a little cottage. On the edge of a large, dark. See, you can read it. Your brain is physically processing. This little girl often wore a pretty little red cloak with her little red hood, and for this reason, people call her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, you want to continue? One morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her inside. Little Red Riding Hood, here's a little basket with some bread and butter and sugar cookies. Oh, she's like, oh, really, sugar? Take this little basket to the cottage of your grandmother who lives on the other side of the forest. Shake a leg. Somebody, what's that mean? Shake a leg.
Take care.
Take care, kind of, yeah, take care. Kind of, yeah, take care. Shake a leg. Don't stop along the road. Don't stop to pick flowers. Don't dilly-dally in the forest, and under no circumstances, don't stop to talk with strangers. What's dilly-dally? Kinda. Huh? Hey. The guy's just like, how would you explain it, Ben? Dilly-dally.
Just wasting time.
Wasting time. Okay, I would read all through this, but I don't need to. The purpose is, do you see how your brain is processing information? It processes both bottom up, the words and the sounds, and top down together. Right? Cool. And so, reading is very complex. Extremely complex. This is just in your first language, right? What's going on? You have the text way over here, and then you have processing strategies. They all work together at the same time of your knowledge base. This is your background knowledge, your cultural and content schema, right? As long as your formal schema. It all works together. It is so complex. But how much of this is actually words? Do you see the chart? Do you see where it says words? In all this processing of reading, words comprises that. That's it. But sometimes we teachers focus solely so much on words, when that's only a little part of the reading process. How many words a class should you teach? Or how many do you teach? How many? 20? 10? 20 to 15? Research shows the brain can only process 8. You should not teach more than 8 words in one lesson. Anything more than 8, your brain goes away. Right? Yeah, exactly. So this is in your first language. What about second language? It's even more complex, right? So when you're reading the L2, the second language, only 20% is your L1 literacy. L2 is 30%. And this 50% here is unknown. We don't know. What does that tell you? Oh, linear process. What does that tell you? That reading in the second language is complicated. Only 30%. 30%. Take that to heart. Just remember, it's much more complicated to read in your second language. How about your third, or fourth, or fifth? She's like, no way, right? So we have to be very careful in how we introduce words in our reading classes. Okay? And so words are also called lexical items. And these words, I believe, this is just me, although it makes up a small percentage of the charts and the research, I believe vocabulary is the cornerstone of second language learning. And you should put a lot of emphasis on it in your classes. In your spoken classes, your writing, listening, or speaking. Or reading, excuse me. Do you agree with me? I hope so. If not, I hope to convince you. Grabe in 2004, he even says that all of us should emphasize vocabulary and create a vocabulary-rich environment. Grabe is a professor from the University of Northern Arizona, and his specialty is in L2 vocabulary acquisition. So he says, vocabulary-rich environment. What does that mean? Any idea? Yeah? Learn from the environment, but vocabulary-rich. What can you do in your classrooms to make more vocabulary being used? Maybe. What do you think? Exactly. Can I put something on the wall? Really? Good. There are some people here today who are beginning to learn Mongolian, right? So they go into the restaurants, they go into the street, they talk to people on the street, they go to taxis. They can use basic Mongolian in all different places. The more they get from different places, the more input they're getting, right? In different contexts. That's what I'm trying to say.
One word in a different context, different meaning.
That's vocabulary rich. So if you constantly teach your students one way to learn vocabulary, they're not getting the richness of the input that they need. So I need you to provide different avenues of context. Understand? It's like, oh, yeah. But a bigger question is what does it mean to know a word? That's really hard. Like, what's thank you? Bayarda. Right? What does that mean? How do you know the word bayarda? What is it? Just the meaning? Is that it? Well, first, The spelling. But I already know, right? If you don't know how to spell it, that's horrible. Not horrible, but it could be detrimental. English, though, is a low phoneme grapheme representation language, which means the sounds of English do not correspond to the way it spells. So it's a low phoneme. So spelling is sometimes difficult. Second, phonetic representation, how it's pronounced, right? How about morphological irregularity? The forms, different forms. You know this, you're teachers. Syntactic features. How is it used in the sentence? Right? And more importantly, the restrictions in the sentence. What else? Common derivations and collocations. Collocations means words that go with other words. Okay? Also, semantic features and restrictions. Exactly, like synonyms. And finally, pragmatic features. This is what it means to know a word, right? So can I test you? Can I test you? Yeah, you know I like to test you, right? Child. Do you know what this word means? Really? I'm going to prove to you that you don't know this word. And I'm going to prove to you as well that some Americans in this room don't know this word either. They don't truly know the word. This word is deeper than you think. With your group, I only want 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Timers? 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Discuss, what does the word child mean? Go through the different parts. Spelling, pronunciation, semantic features, pragmatic, morphological regularity. Good luck. 7 minutes. Go. Your handout. In your handout. In your handout. There's a box for you. Use the box. Go ahead. So, secretaries, what do you think? Is this an easy word? I think David's trying to trick me. I don't know. Because this is a word that when is it taught? Elementary school, middle school, high school? It's a beginning level word, right? Yeah, but sometimes beginning level words are more complicated than we think. So let's go through it. Let's go through it. C-H-I-L-D. I love that you spell it. Good job. That's right, C-H-I-L-D. Now, this can be different ways. It's my computer. It's actually the T and the S. T-S, right? Child. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Okay? Next. Morphological irregularity. Children. Do we agree? Good. So far, so good. Semantic features. It's a noun. I hope you got that. It's a noun. It's countable. 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, right? Common derivatives. Childlike, childish, childhood. Good. Common collocations. Child's play. Child labor. Child psychology. Oh, we can go on and on and on and on and on. Semantic features. It's a human. She's like, oh my God, it's a human. And it's neutral. So regarding gender distinction, it would contrast with what? With infant and baby, such as adolescent and adult as well. So it does contrast. But at what point? When do speakers use the contrast between them? That's important to know as well. Finally, my favorite, pragmatic features. You would be able to contrast child with other words, such as example, kid. So, what's the difference between child and kid? Kid what? Okay, so kid is small baby. Is she right? Huh? Informal? let's see if the Americans here know. Americans, I love that they're here. Americans. Dan, what's the difference between child and kid? Nope.
Children.
And by the way, they've never thought about this before. Right? So what's the difference between them?
Kid is a bit more abrupt.
Ooh, abrupt? Nope. She's like, anyone else want to try?
It is big goat.
In order to talk about the differences between these two words, okay, I literally looked at millions of words, and I found this sentence, and I really want to use it because I think it's really, really fascinating.
Kid is really general. General calling. Child is more close to the speaker.
So do we truly know this word? So I saw this sentence in a corpus, and now I changed it. I changed the one word. Okay. So, kid. Listen to me speak the first one. It's a snow day today. My kids are home from school. It's a snow day today. My kid is home from school. There's a big difference there. What is it? What is it?
So, kid is plural verb and child is
So, here's a hint. Ben, you know? Child should be here. The question is why? As a what? Nope. Let me do this again, but emphasize. Okay? Watch my expressions when I do this. It's a snow day today. My kids are home from school. It's a snow day today. My kid is home from school. Dan, got it?
In the singular, it's less affectionate.
It's pejorative. When English speakers use a singular form of kid, it's actually a negative thing. It's like, oh, my kid, the thing, it. And so, 93.5% of the time, it's used negatively when it's in the singular form. But if it's child, I'll use child instead to be positive. Child will be more like, it's like, oh, my child, my baby, my child, my kid, So English speakers change without knowing, but that's when they use this word. Interesting, huh? So now I think you kind of know more about what? Negative. Yeah, it's negative. So positive, negative. Okay? So knowing a word is actually very, very challenging. Questions? Good. I want to cite a woman named Celsi Murcia. She's a grammarian at SIT. And I believe that her quote that emphasizes what I'm trying to tell you. She says, to truly know a word means to know both how it differs from and how it is similar to others. Right? Pragmatic information is useful when we try to be sensitive to the appropriateness of the register of our lexical choices. Woo! It also helps us in the realm of usage to identify patterns of words that collocate or go together. So I think she adequately states why kid and child, and that knowing the difference between the two pragmatically is very important. So research shows what? Well, first of all, the range and types of word knowledge to be learned must happen at an incremental process. 8 words. That's it. If you try to do more, you're actually hurting someone, not helping someone. Ooh. 2, lots of research research from Perfetti 1992, 1999, 2007, and also 2001, okay, has argued consistently that the ability to know words thoroughly may be one of the best indicators of reading ability. So I found the difference between kid and child. I did analysis in Harry Potter books. It's the same thing. In Harry Potter, kid is used pejoratively. This is called the vocabulary learning burden, which means the degree of effort required to learn, notice, understand, and permanently store a word in the brain is called a burden. I want to help you, help your students, decrease that burden. So the question is, how can second language reading instruction ease the vocabulary learning burden and integrate vocabulary acquisition into literacy development? That's the big question that we need to address. So, my first strategy is address it. And how do I want you to address it? Face it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid. Attack it. Because you know what? Vocabulary is huge. It's ridiculously huge. Don't worry. You're the lion. Rah! Vocabulary. Rah! So there are three questions I want to answer. Number one, how many words are there in English? Question two, how many words do first language students do? How much do they know? And then how many words should second language learners know? Any idea? Okay, so how many words in English? 4,000? Okay. How many? 500,000. Maybe? Any idea? 400,000. You guys are funny. There is a certain number. There are probably between 1 and 2 million words in English. There are probably more, and even more than that. So, do you teach 2 million words to your students? Dictionaries, though, they say between 100,000 and 500,000. That's dictionaries. But every year, thousands and thousands of words are introduced into the English language. Yep. And so, there are likely to be 110,000 words in common use. So yes, there are millions of words. Let's put that aside. Dictionary, okay, 500,000. Put that aside. Common use, about 110,000. So that's what we're working with. You are working with 110,000 words. That's a lot, huh? And in Mongolian, there's actually double the amount. How many words do first language students know? So remember, we have 110,000 words, right? About 80,000? So in the American high schools, there's about 40,000 words. So after you graduate high school, the common American will know 40,000 words. Do you see what I'm doing so far? How many words are there in English? 2 million. How many words in dictionary? 500,000. How many common usage? 110. What am I doing right now? I'm attacking that burden. Do you see that? It's overwhelming at first, but then once you start realizing how many words you actually should learn, it's going to become manageable. Because right now your students are like, there are so many words to learn, I don't know what to do. They feel overwhelmed. Can we go even lower? Yep. A good benchmark that represents the likely upper limit could be what? 40,000 words. So if you want to study in America for graduate school or undergrad, you need to know 40,000 words about. Okay? That's the upper. That's the upper. So how many words should second language learner know? 20,000 words. Maybe.
5,000.
5,000 words. Maybe. Maybe. I say it all depends. It all depends on what? Your reading comprehension. So we want the comprehension to be 98% of the text. That means that you can read a text pretty well. The lowest percentage is 95% of the text. So whatever text you have, make sure it's at least 95% readable for your students. Does that surprise you? 95%. Is that too high? Maybe. But how do you know 95% is helpful for your students? How do you know a text that you have is 95% okay? Main ideas. What else? Okay, what else? Yeah. What else? This is hard, isn't it? This is hard. And so, something we need to begin to think about. This is called word frequency coverage. The most used word is the. The second one, top 10 words, 22% coverage of text. The top 50 words, 37% coverage of text. When I say text, I mean any reading material. Okay? Top 100 words, 44. And all the way, the top 3,000 word families, 86% of coverage. So if you know the 3,000 top words, you can be able to read 86% of all reading material. But there's a little gap. That's not 95%. So there's a little bit where you have to go the extra mile. You see that? So this is the final thing. Overall, he says 9,000 word families. This is your goal. Oh, she's like, oh. Which means if you can teach your students, and they can learn in their lifetime, 18,000 words, because you doubled. That's what you need to know to be proficient in English. And think about it, 8 words a day. How many days is it going to take? Right? Huh? Yeah, 49 a week. So relax, it's okay. There's a lot of words out there, but just realize that 18,000, that's all you have to work to, as opposed to 2 million. Do you prefer 2 million or 18,000? Right? So Robbie says, it is not reasonable to expect that second language students read almost any text they encounter in the L2 fluency. So the real goal is an L2 vocabulary level anywhere above 10,000 words. With more opportunities for fluent reading practice, a greater number of words will become known. Okay? Opportunity. Remember what I said earlier? Different contexts, right? Exactly. And so, ease the burden. Ease the burden. We have to measure students' existing vocabulary. How do you do that? Right? And this is how you do it. There are tests online that your students can take to tell you exactly the level that they're at. I have all the information on the back of your handout. All the different websites that you can go to use. It's called Vocabulary Levels Test for English, or the Vocab Profile. I have my students always take the Vocab Profile. They go home, they take it, they send me their score. And and then I can gauge my classes depending on the scores. Here's what it looks like. You go online, vocab profile. Boom. It then gives you version A, version B, version C. It says 2,000 level, 3,000 level, 5,000 level, university. If you teach university in Mongolia, they need to be a 3,000 level. Okay? You click on 3,000, it gives you productive tests, meaning can the student produce vocabulary? For example, the first one says, soldiers usually swear an blank of loyalty to their country. What word would go there? Oath. Yeah. Oath. Oath. Soldiers usually swear an O-A-T-H. So the student would type T-H. Okay? This test is based off of research. It's based off of millions of words collected. Right? That's productive. Then you have the opposite, which is receptive. Same website. They take productive and receptive. You get their responses, you get a score. From the score, you can determine your syllabus. Right? The second strategy I have is called using a corpus or a word list to help you teach vocabulary. Okay. This is my favorite thing ever. Nation 2005. He said, the English lexicon contains 1,500 to 2,000 high-frequency words. What's the difference between high frequency and low frequency? Do we want to teach our students high frequency words or low frequency words? But I looked at some Mongolian textbooks last Friday because I'm trying to write an examination. I looked at the examination vocabulary. Guess what? 65% of these words are low frequency. Why would you do that? Why? You're wasting time. You're wasting energy. So we want to find out, where can we find high frequency words? A corpus. And word lists. So online, there are word lists that you can download. GSL, General Service List. The Academic Word List. If you teach academic writing, right? Go to it. BNC Word List, British National Corpus. These lists cover all of the words you need to know. Okay? Also, you have to find out if the passage that you're teaching is actually appropriate or not for your students, correct? Look at your handout. Yep, that one. It's called a vocabulary profile. I want you with your group members to read the text. Remember Little Red Riding Hood? Read the text. I want you to determine the level this text is. Is it a beginner level text? Is it intermediate level text? Is it advanced? And how do you know that? So what we'll do is you first try to find out what you think. Then we will take this list, this text, we will put it into an online database, and it will tell us the level it is. And it will show you why it's the way it is. So with your group members, talk about, what do you think? Is this a beginning level text, intermediate, advanced? Why not? With consideration of vocabulary. 3 minutes, go ahead. Back. So, is this the beginning level text? No. Maybe. Because remember now, this is interesting. I'm asking just about vocabulary level. I'm not asking about grammatical level or if it's elementary school, middle school. It doesn't matter to me. You could be 110 years old, right? Doesn't matter. I'm only looking at vocabulary level based off of the top 1,000, top 2,000, top 3,000 used word list in the entire world, right? So we have beginning, okay. Beginner. Anyone say intermediate? Okay, what words should say, what words come out as intermediate? Okay. Good. Dilly-dally. Dilly-dally. Once upon a time. Circumstance. Well, let's see if you're right. Let's see if you're right. I'm a big believer in online technology. So the first thing I do, imagine if I'm a teacher and I get this passage, right, in my textbook. I type it in Microsoft Word, and then I copy and I paste it into vocab profiler. Okay? All you do, you go to vocab profiler, and you go here. Then it gives you a box just like this. What do you do with your text? You copy and paste where? In the box. Don't worry about this. Too much nonsense. Who cares? Who cares? Just the box. Okay? For linguists like me, I like this stuff. Don't worry about it. Then it will analyze the paragraph for you. Boom! It's a really ugly thing, but it tells you the top 1 to 1,000 words, right? They'll give you a percentage. In this whole paragraph, 84.62% of the words are the top 1,000 used common words. Is that a good thing or bad thing? That's a good thing. Which means 84.62 is not 95%. Which means you might have to teach some words like dilly-dally. This is really ugly, but I think it's a really ugly interface, but it's very informative. All the letters in blue are the top 1,000 words. All the words in green are the next 2,000 words. And the ones in red, the 3,000. So overall, in this whole passage, there are 1, 2, this is together, dilly-dally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, guess what? The same word. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 words that you will have to teach. The rest, you don't have to teach. Because the students should know it at the level they're at. Even if, don't get excited. Even if your textbook says, teach these words, you don't have to if it's in the top 1,000 already. If it's your school, it depends on your context. If you're at must, right? Don't teach the top 1,000. Just teach what's important, the high frequency words. Don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. Got it? So this is a way to analyze your textbook passages in a systematic and scientific way. The only downside is you have to spend some time to copy it and put it into this website. Is this website free? Yeah! I'm looking. I didn't make it, but everything I gave you is all free. Okay? Cool, huh? Let's get even cooler. This is the dorkiness in me coming out. I put the whole story, the whole Little Red Riding Hood, all 481 words, right? 80.49%. The whole story, only 80.49%. Okay, this is my favorite thing ever. This is called a corpus. You go online, corpus of a contemporary American English. It goes bing. This is what you see. It is a collection of all words, both text and spoken as well. And it looks like this. This looks crazy. Don't worry, it's not crazy. It's really straightforward. In the top left corner, you put a word that you want to look up. Any word. Doesn't matter. Then you choose your context, spoken context, fiction, magazine, newspaper, or everything. It then will search the entire database of how many words? 455 billion words. Billion. And every year we add to it. Linguists, every year we add to it. For example, in China, they love the phrase colorful life. Have you heard that phrase before? Like, oh, my life is colorful. Is your life colorful? Yes, we all have colorful life. Right? It became a common daily usage phrase actually. And I was really confused because I never heard of it before. What does it mean, colorful life? Then my friend Ben's like, I don't know what colorful life means. Do you know what it means? And so every day my students say, oh dang, my life is so colorful. And so I got so upset. I go, okay, I have to stop this. But I didn't check the corpus to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Right? So, do I know the meaning of the word? I don't know. So I put colorful life in the corpus. I didn't choose, well, I chose academic. And I want to see how much it's used academically. This is the results. This is the results. Out of billions of words, billions of times, it is used twice. Twice. There is the frequency. You see that? Twice. Huh. What's so great about a corpus is this. You find out how many times it's used. That's a low frequency word, right? It also tells you how is it used. So at the bottom of the page down here, it'll tell you exactly in the text or interview where the word is used. So here, it says, blah, 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 far more colorful life of Diogenes the Cynic. That's history. Down below, it says, blah, 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 sponges and other colorful life forms in the ocean. So colorful life is used twice. Huh? Highly. Don't even use it. Don't even teach it. So my recommendation is this. If you have a passage and you're unsure about some words, put it in the corpus. How is it used? When is it used? Why is it used? And is it appropriate to teach? If not, put it aside. That's it. Cool, huh? She's like, yeah, cool, yeah. I also said before, you want to make your classroom have an environment where there's multiple different ways of input of vocabulary, right? Here's one way that many of my friends do. Well, word walls. Do you do that? Do you? Yeah. So have words all over your walls. You know, I went to an NGO last Friday. What's the name of it? Malta? What's the name of the place? Do you know that place? Yes. And as I was walking up the stairs to go to my meeting, along the wall there's just vocabulary words. That's it. And then I saw a guy just standing there like this, reading. Just more exposure. That's all you need. That's all you need. Okay? And so, My number one advice for teaching vocabulary is this. Working with graded readers. Have you heard of graded readers before? So a graded reader is this. It is a series of books that are made based off of the top 1,000 words, 2,000 words, 3,000 words. And it builds up off of each other. So for example, you can have a simple book like Harry Potter. It could be really, I don't want to say dumbed down, just the vocabulary is limited to the top 1,000 words. And then you can have the same book with the top 2,000 words. The same book with the top 3,000 words. These graded readers are top notch. And then students can see the progression as they move through the readers. You can find them online. Very, very cheap. And then maybe the US Embassy can help with us. we will check up on that. and so, reading topically related material offers good opportunities. They can take this home. They can go on the toilet seat. Who knows, right? And when you plan your lessons, remember that vocabulary learning is a long-term, incremental process. Don't force your students to learn so much so fast, because guess what? It's not going to matter. Even in survival language learning mode, you will only learn so much so fast. The research shows over time, you're only going to remember 8 words a day no matter what. I hope this helps some people here understand when they learn Mongolian. 2, provide vocabulary in multiple contexts and teach different words in different ways. I provided you a list. The last page of your handout. Second to the last page. Explicit vocabulary instruction. I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different strategies you can do in your classes. This is Dave's list. So look over the list right now of your group, and then if you have any questions, ask me. Okay, go ahead with your group for a little bit. My favorite one is number 6. But sometimes, actually, no, to be honest with you, sometimes that is the hardest one. Because as a teacher, I'm told from schools, you must teach them from this textbook, right? Or you must do X, Y, Z. Therefore, I have a list of vocabulary. I must teach them this vocabulary. But after you put it in the databases and you use a corpus, take out the ones you don't need and do nothing with them. I'm probably the first teacher trainer to ever say to you, do nothing. Only focus on the high frequency words. Okay? Promise me that. Yes, question? As of right now, maybe if you become a future researcher, you can research that some more. Yes. Yeah. It's not gonna wash away forever in this vacuous void.
It's not used.
Yeah.
Just like more memory.
Like it's called short-term memory and long-term memory. Okay, you don't have it in the short term, but what second language acquisition theorists researchers want to prove is that short term turning to long term, 8 words is most beneficial. After that, it will not happen. That's what research shows, unless you become future researchers. Okay. Other questions about that? I know, it's funny because the textbooks, the curriculum, the theory, that's all ahead. But we're still back here. So we're trying to catch up. Right? So, Provide vocabulary in multiple contexts and teach different words in different ways. All the different ways are right here, but they're also used explicitly. Okay? Next. Teach at the point of contact. So if you come across a word that your students need to know, it's a high frequency word, do it. Right there, right then. Because if you wait till later, out. Next, develop procedures for selecting words to teach. You know this now. You know this. You know this. What do? Take your textbook, write it up, post it into the website, find out which words they need to know. Then 2, take the top most difficult words, put it into a corpus, and then see if they really need to know it. Yes. My teacher would be very proud of me. Teach a limited set of keywords for depth, precision, and multiple encounters, like the word child. Really delve into that word child. I'm sure from now on, you all know when to use child or kid, don't you? Yeah. And she's like, Finally, recycle vocabulary over time. Reread prior texts for new purposes. Just because you finish one part of the textbook doesn't mean you can't go back to it. Go back to it! Go back, go back, go back, go back.
40 times.
How many times?
40 times.
40 times? 100 times.
It's due to the research survey.
Do you know who researched?
40 times.
40 times. Exactly. See? Soviet researchers, American researchers, we agree. Yay! And so the end goal is to ensure that keywords are overlearned, that large numbers of related words are learned, that students appreciate the power of words, and that they become lifelong collector of words. Any questions about today? I hope that you have gained now a better understanding of the power of words and the relationship between how your brain processes top-down processing, bottom-up processing, right? And we can use online tools to help us gauge what is appropriate to teach our students. All of it is free. It's on your handouts. Any questions, email me. Thank you very much. Tomorrow.